Party with your host, Dustin Rybka.
Hello and welcome to Sex Party. I'm your host, Dustin Rybka. This is episode 52. My guest this week, friend of the show, Shawn Jacobson. You may remember her from episode 5. She was the one who told the story about attending a pizza party and watching a man be whipped and have his testicles electrocuted and fried for a BDSM demonstration. Shawn is back. She does not disappoint in this episode. We talk about her being bullied on the internet by a couple of goony nobody creators who threw a video of her up on YouTube and all the terrible, gnarly things they did and what that feels like, that experience of being bullied on the internet. We talk about the possible return of her podcast, Tough Titties. And in the end of the episode, Shawn tells another story. This one could be greater than the first time she was on the show. Shawn went on a first date to a secret sex club. She walks us through the entire experience, all the things that happened. I ask about all the details. It's fucking phenomenal. So, without further ado, this is my conversation again with Shawn Jacobson.
This week's conversation.
Shawn Jacobson, I'm so happy that you're back. Welcome back to Sex Party.
Thank you. I know it's been a minute. I was really hard to catch, but I came. I'm here.
Yeah, I mean, and like you helped me launch the show, right? And now we're approaching the end of season 1 of Sex Party, and it's like it's very nice to see you. It's very awesome to have you back.
What are your seasons?
What are
Just
your
like
intentions? What are your intentions with this
No,
show?
but what is season 1? Haven't you been doing it for like a year?
I have. So season 1 for me is just going to be one calendar year, right? We're just going to go bump.
Okay.
Yeah. So February 15th, this show, season 1 ends. And we're moving right into season 2 with no break. Sorry, guys.
Okay.
Not taking a break. So
I'm sure they're so upset.
probably like, Jesus, just shut up. So it has been quite a while since you were episode 5. The audience will remember the pizza party, the testicles being electrocuted.
It wasn't really a pizza party.
Well, kind of. There was pizza, so.
But yeah. There was pizza.
Yeah, so how have you been this last year?
I've seen better days. That's kind of why I've been like very low key. Just like mentally ill, which I was before, but like worse. And so I kind of like took a step back from my podcast because it was just like a lot to do. And then I've been trying to like start a career, which isn't really working out that well for me. So that's been a lot. I did get a puppy though. So that's nice. That's been helpful. What else happened? In September, I got a literal bullied on the internet.
What?
Which is another reason why I went MIA. Yeah, so fucked up. People are so mean. They basically took a TikTok of mine, which was like just me talking about like a bad date that I went on. Mm-hmm. And they downloaded my TikTok and made like a YouTube. I don't know if they have a podcast, but I saw it as a YouTube podcast type thing where they're like talking, they're together, but I'm sure it comes out as a podcast, but I didn't do that much research on it because it literally was not good. So it's just like this guy and it's like a man and a woman, and they have my video in between their heads, and they're just fucking ripping me to shreds, like for 10 minutes straight. I watched 30 seconds of it and I was like, I'm all set. Then I was like, let's look at the comments. Worse. So mean. Like everyone is so mean. They were just like saying horrible things. And it was basically like attacking the modern woman, which is what they said, basically. So, I think the title was like humbling the modern woman. Like, shut the fuck up. So for a bit, I wanted to like try and get YouTube to take it down because it's literal bullying. And I was a literal suicidal, but they didn't. I'm pretty sure it's still up there. But I've kind of just like, it's just so much work to try and get the shit taken down that I'll just like have to live with it. I don't really know what else to do. So I've kind of moved on from that. So yeah, that happened in September, and yeah, that's my catch up.
Well, okay, first of all, I'm so sorry to hear that affected you that way, and that these
I
fucking
know. People are so, and you want to know the worst? The fucking dumbass bitch. I mean, the man, I could go off on him too, but the woman, like I found her Instagram and she's all like Yogi Bear, love and light, positive energy, like that type of bitch. I'm like, you literally have a show on YouTube that bullies people. Like, what the fuck are you saying?
So can we get their names so we can go and get some answers?
I don't know if I want to like put them on there because I don't want more people to watch it. Like they had like 30,000 views the last time I looked.
Yeah, no, fuck all that. First of all, I was just kidding, and second of all, I'm not kidding because you're gonna tell me offline, and we'll find a way to handle it that way.
Yeah, so
fuck that. No, that's terrible. And
haters are your motivators.
Yeah, but was that the reason why you took a break from from your podcast?
No, I was breaking before that because I was kind of like stressed out working a full-time job that I hated and trying to, like, I was working a 9 to 6 and then I would get home at 7 and then I'm like, I don't want to fucking do more work. So I got really burnt out really fast and then I got laid off from that job and then I was just like, fuck, I need a new job. It just was like kind of a lot to balance the podcast as well. So it's been like kind of hard for me to try and hop back on the train now that I've taken a break from it. But I'm hoping like once I get settled in a job, then I'll be able to bring it back or something. But yeah, the YouTube video did make it worse. Like I was like, fuck that. I'm never showing my fucking face again. The fuck? So, yeah, it definitely didn't help, but that wasn't like the catalyst of it. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, think about the energy it takes for like some fucking, and we talked about this the last time you were here, ironically, right? Like in episode 5, like the energy rather that it takes to like for someone to, because you were dealing with some like fucking troll boys and shit, troll dudes, like in your comments and shit.
Yeah, but nothing like that. Like that was a lot. I've never been like fucking bullied like that before.
Well,
like,
I'm sorry to hear that.
But so then I'm like, when I'm famous, like how the fuck am I going to handle it? I'm going to have to just not look at my social media. Like someone will just have to handle it for me.
Yeah, I think a lot of people when they get famous, they don't look. They don't even like go to see their own movies. If they're a movie star, they just like, you know, online, like they don't read comments. But like it's also hard not to. I mean, I've had some people.
You had some haters?
I've had like I wouldn't actually it hasn't been that bad yet. So like I'm sure it's coming.
For your YouTube video. Just kidding.
Oh God, me neither.
Just kidding.
I can't
wait.
Don't
want that.
Yeah. Well, I think at a certain point it's probably unavoidable, right? Because when you're putting yourself out there weekly, you're doing all of these pieces of content, you're following everything Gary Vaynerchuk says, right?
Yeah.
Like you're trying to make whatever, like it's open game. But for me, I think I have to, you know, and who knows, maybe when somebody roasts me on some fucking green screen video on YouTube or TikTok, like I'll just run for the bottle and hide in the dumpster for a while.
That's
who knows, right?
I did.
I do that anyway from time to time. But I think, you know, this is kind of an important thing, right? Because you're a woman, you're dating, you had a podcast that's paused at the moment, whatever, and then these two fucking a-holes, like that's not hard enough to do all that. And then these two fucking a-holes decide to fucking, you know, dump trash on your parade that's already fucking messed up because life is hard.
It's just like relax. Like, don't you have other things to do? Like, I don't know. It's just like TikTok or even like Instagram or whatever, like people you see on social media, I think other people are just don't really take into consideration that these people are also people. And so I think that's kind of part of it, that I don't think that these people would have said that to my fucking face, but people like would ask me like, do you know them? I'm like, I've never seen their fucking faces in my life. Like, I don't know them. They just came across my shit. And I didn't even do like a deep dive on them. Like, I really was like, I can't even look at this for my own sanity. But other people did for me. And they were like, all of their videos are basically what was mine, just with different people or different women. Like, they just font. And I'm like, how are you a woman sitting there and saying shit like that? Like, it's just like absurd. But anyway, I don't want to give it any more time because it's literal stupid. Literal stupid. It's just fucking like, it's not worth the energy. So
yeah, it's definitely
that's it. That's all I have to say about it.
It's very literal stupid. Literal stupid.
Literal stupid.
Yeah, no, stupid. There seems to be like this. Anybody in that faction is automatically a fucking idiot. The Andrew Tate fucking like
literal Andrew Tate vibes. And I was just
the only reason that they're doing that, only reason that they're doing that is because they know that it gets them clicks from a bunch of insecure men. That's the only reason that they're doing that.
Like, literally one of the comments on the YouTube thing, because I was like, let's see, what's anybody saying anything nice? And like, it's like people with squirrels as their profile picture, like talking shit. I'm like, show your fucking face. Like, you're probably sitting in your mother's basement when you're 45 having Frito cheese dust on your fucking fat ass stomach, and fuck off. Like, you're gonna come here and tell me how disgusting I am, and then that's what you are?
Yeah,
like,
no, it's really gross.
So it's just like, yeah, you just have to take it with a grain of salt.
Bashing the modern woman is just the fucking, it's just for clicks. Right. Like, it's really, really terrible.
Right, but it's like, why is that something that's popular? Like, that's so sick to me.
Because people want to blame all of their problems on someone. And when it's like, oh, I'm not getting laid, I'm not getting blowjobs, I don't have any dates, right? It must not be my fault. It must be because the modern woman doesn't like me because she's an idiot. And then they'll go and fucking, they'll do all that stuff. Like, here's why, look. But the thing is you're using so much energy to present that case that it is just not a case, right? You're just these lies. And then people who are in there using all the energy to comment, like, why don't you use all that energy to like get your dick sucked, to go fucking on a date? Like, if that's what you're after, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's just like, it was just a whole hot mess. But anyway, I see that you have a girlfriend or something like that.
Or something like that. I do have a girlfriend, yes.
Like a real one.
She's real, yeah. Wait, like, do you mean a real person, or do you mean
I know she's a real person. I've seen.
Well, I wasn't sure where you're going with this.
Official girlfriend.
She is.
Like, we have the title. See, I feel like the last time we talked, you were like, not about that life.
I have not been about that life. I am still not about that life, right? Okay, let me explain. It's just her. Like, as you recall, you're the one who sent me the anxious avoidant attachment style quiz, and it came back like incredibly avoidant. And I was and was, practicing being avoidant quite often. Mm-hmm. And then I met my girlfriend, and
wasn't she a guest on the show?
She was, yeah.
So what the fuck? I was a guest on this show and I'm still single. That's so rude.
That's
I'm
amazing.
I'm still single and getting bullied.
That's oh my God. Well, I think with that, right, with relationships, it's incredibly bizarre the way these things work, because you can be a certain way and have all of these dates that don't go right, or hookups that don't go right, and you're just not getting what you want out of it. But the second that I think, no matter if you're avoidant, if you're anxious, if you're whatever, when you find that thing that works, right? And for me, like, I don't know, it's been 5 or 6 years since I've had a girlfriend and whatever, right? So when you find that thing that works, it's like, oh shit, this works? What's going on? And then you sort of adapt your life in the ways that you feel like you can and you want to and whatever. That's how it is for me, at least.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think a lot of guys, though, are like, if they're anti-date, they're hardcore, like, anti-date. And I don't know if it's just, like, one girl who changes that for them, or if it's, like, a whole life thing where they're like, I got to get my shit together and, like, settle down.
Yeah. I mean, it's not about that for me at all. The thing that I had a lot of problems.
I look like I have a mustache with the shadow.
No, you don't. Jesus Christ.
I do.
No, you don't.
Whatever.
You look fine. The people that are watching on YouTube, you know, they'll tell us in the comments how great
They'll
you
tell
look.
me I have a mustache.
Would it even matter if you did? I think you'd be great with a mustache. So
no,
whatever.
Because I'm blonde. I don't have a mustache. It's just a shadow. Whatever. Anyway, continue.
I think that dating is it's annoying, and I think that being in a relationship is annoying, right? The one I'm in now is not, and I think for me, it just feels like really, really good to have someone who gets it and adds to your life, right? Like the thing there's many things I was not a fan of. We just said some of them, but I think I always wanted someone who was going to come into my life that had their own thing going on, right? And they just added to mine. It wasn't like they didn't need to take anything away. Like, oh, I don't like you have a sex podcast. I don't like you throw parties for a living. Like everybody who came into my life, and again, I'm not talking shit about any of my ex-girlfriends. I think they're wonderful. But there was a little friction there, and not the good kind, when we would talk about what I did for a living, right? Because back then I threw parties for a living, and they didn't like it. And I can't imagine that most women would be, and I could be completely wrong, and tell me in the comments if I am, right? But that I would have a sex podcast where I talk to women every week about sex work, relationships, all the things, right? I can't imagine that for a lot of people that they would be okay with that, you know? I mean, you had a sex podcast for a while.
Yeah. I mean, I think women are more open to it than men for some reason.
Totally, yeah.
And I don't know if that's just my experience because I don't date women, so I don't really know. But yeah, there's a lot of guys that like can't handle it, or they think because I talk about sex, I'm a slut. Or so it's like automatically like it's not gonna work, you know? So but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess we'll see, but I'm still so single. But I think it's Florida. I think I just have to move.
Yeah, you said something about that last time. So if you moved, where would you move? Do you have any prospects?
I'm trying. Yeah, I'm actively trying, not that actively, but I'm trying to move to Nashville.
We love Nashville.
And I just need to find like a liberal cowboy. And if they exist, they're going to be there.
They exist. They're there. And Nashville's the place you would find it. Nashville's the most
that's what I'm
liberal
saying.
city.
And two of my best friends live there already. So like I wouldn't be alone. It's just like a good
Totally.
Good
You do fucking awesome in Nashville. We love Nashville.
I know. I just got to get my ass there.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. So we did a little catch up. It's great, right? We're caught up with everything going on with Shawn.
With my amazing life.
No, I think it's great. Stop putting yourself down so much.
I'm just being realistic.
No, I think that the realism is that you're a fucking awesome person. You're funny. You're smart.
Thanks.
People love you. People love your podcast. For every person that is using you to boost their content, there's 10 other people that fucking love your shit and whatever.
That's true.
Your podcast was amazing, right? And like I've gone in the list of your episodes and stolen guests and brought them to my show. That's how good your podcast is. So
if you want more content of any of his episodes, they're probably on mine.
Yeah, head on over. Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So, okay. So are we thinking about bringing Tough Titties back? Are we planning? What is the plan? Let's be real. Let's be honest, because I don't want them to get too excited if it's not happening.
I have no plan. I really don't have any plan. I'm really struggling with the job thing.
Sure.
And so it's really hard to try and focus on that and try and run a podcast. Like I was doing the podcast like as a full-time job almost. And so it's just like a lot. And my brain these days just can't handle. Right. And sometimes I get like big spurts of like, let's bring it back. And then so I have like one episode recorded, I think from like June or July or something like that, like a while ago. And it's just sitting on my computer.
Okay.
So like, it's not all hope is lost. It's just like, I really would like to feel more settled.
Sure.
Before I bring it back, because I don't want to have to stop it again, if that makes sense.
No, it totally makes sense. Yeah, podcasts are hard.
It's a lot of work, and I don't think people realize how much work it is until like you do it yourself. Yeah. So yeah, I'd like to just, have a steady job, maybe living in Nashville, and then go from there. But like one day I want to open like a whole studio, like not for me, like as like a business. So,
I mean, Nashville's a perfect place to do that. There's fucking studios everywhere. You can go open a cool one. Not that they're not cool, but like you could do your own thing, right? Have a bunch of women podcasters and YouTube creators fucking killing it. I love that idea for you.
Yeah. So, and I have like, I just like have, my mind just goes like either really fucking slow or like a million miles a minute. So like these days I'm like very entrepreneurial in my head, but like it's nothing's happening with it. I'm just like, oh, this sounds like a good idea. I write it down in my notes of my phone, and then that's where it stops. So like I need to figure out what the fuck I want to do with my life.
I think that's fine. I think you should take more time and do you and feel everything and get to a better place with it, because life is fucking hard. Having a podcast is fucking hard. It's a lot of work. And your podcast to me will always have been one of the biggest influences on my podcast, right? Like,
oh my God, thanks.
I love your podcast. Like I said, I stole guests from you. You gave me some guests, but then I stole some other ones, right? And they're amazing. And whether it comes back this year, next year, in a couple years, whether it becomes a daytime talk show, which I could totally see you doing, I think, right? I think that when you're ready and you feel better, it'll be fucking rock and roll time. I can't wait.
Yeah. I just don't know. Like, I feel like the mental illness is like really good for the show. Like, it's so relatable.
Yeah.
So if I cure it, like, it's not going to be good anymore.
This is fucking, I'm so glad you said this, because this is something that I have not talked about yet on the show, but I feel like my mental illness and my chaos, you were actually one of the first people to like, since the start of the podcast, I think it was on a live, you said I was chaotic, right? And I'm like, what a good descriptive word, which now I use all the time, because I am chaotic, right? It's not necessarily drama, but it's definitely chaos. That's how I feel. And I always thought, and I've had a lot of relationship coaches on the show. I'm dating one. And there have been moments with guests that they've said, hey, do you want to maybe cure the fucking avoidant stuff and whatever? And I'm like, part of me kind of wants to. The other part of me is like, man, if I do, right, the show's not going to be as interesting. I'm not going to be as chaotic. My life isn't going to be as vodka driven, right? And so, I think and for a moment I had someone ask me like, well, now that you're in a relationship, how does sex party change? I'm like, it doesn't. You just wait and see. It's probably going to get a lot more crazier in ways you're not ready for. And so like I now feel better about it, you know?
Yeah.
But I think you could do the same, right? Because like the thing about chaos, mental illness, right, is that I just don't think who you are in your core doesn't change. I'll always be chaotic, right? Sometimes I use it for good. Other times it's for evil, right? And I'll let y'all decide. But that's not going to change. That'll always be a power that I have. Do I want to pull the fire alarm at somebody's wedding? Do I want to, you know, do an extra couple of shots at the bar and put it on someone else? Who knows, right? Who knows what's happening? But all I'm saying is that I think it's hard to do that work, right? That self-work and shit. But I just don't think that it changes who you are.
No. Yeah. I mean, I was obviously kidding because
what the
fuck? Like I just think people that go through like hardships, especially in childhood, are the funniest people, which is why like comedians are all fucked up. Like they've all either like have been a drug addict or had like abuse in their life. Like they use comedy to cope. And I don't think for me that will ever change. But I do actively see a therapist once a week and am actively on meds. So like, I just think it's just part of my life right now. I'm only 24. Like I have time to get it the fuck together.
You have so much time. There's so much time.
But yeah. But no, once I hit 25 in 2 months, I might change my mind. I mean, like 25, I feel like is a big deal.
For 24 years old, look at all of the shit you've already done. You have to at least feel a bit. I haven't
done much.
Whatever. I don't believe that.
I've done one thing.
No. You don't. How many?
Let's talk about something more fun over this conversation.
Why? Because I'm fucking telling you how it looks from over here. Okay, I get it. Okay.
I just think there's other things to talk about besides me.
Sure. You're the guest on the show.
Emo.
Oh my god. Be emo. Blair fucking the Black Parade as loud as you want. It's fine.
Okay.
We love emo. And you know, it's important. You got to rock out. You got to get emo.
You look emo today.
I'm very emo today. You know, it's been a long.
You have your period.
It's been a long, It's been a long.
Your myriad.
Is that what they call it? That's period. What I call it. Myriad. That's that's a good term. I like that.
Thank you.
I won't steal it. You can have
it's
it.
A myriad.
So the last time that you were on this show, you were on the. Is it a BDSM app? Or is it? Like it was FetLife, right?
Oh, you're talking about FetLife. Yeah. So that's a website. Yeah.
Sure. It's an app for people, you know, that are looking to get a little crazier, right? And link up with each other. It's a dating app. Well, it's a hookup. I don't know. It's an app, right?
It's not an app though. There's no app. It's just a website.
Oh, that's really cornbally. What?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe like Apple won't let them on or something because there's gag balls.
I don't know.
Or something.
Who knows? No, but like, I don't know. Whatever. But basically, for those who don't know what FetLife is, Fet stands for fetish. So
yeah,
there you go. But it's basically like a kinky, like BDSM Facebook type of thing.
Yeah.
Like where you can connect with people around the world who have like the same sexual interests as you. So
right. Yeah. So, and that's what a great idea, right? Awesome.
Yeah.
Are we still on FetLife? Have you had any more adventures on FetLife?
No, I've kind of tapped out of FetLife. It's definitely, at least like in my area, like the people that are on it are a lot older than me. And like, don't get me wrong, I love like a good 20-year age gap, but like a grandpa is like not really doing it for me. Like I live like where there's a bunch of old people. Like I live in Boca Raton, Florida. Like it's old people central.
Yeah.
So it's just like not a vibe. And it's also like very intense and I'm like not there yet.
Man.
You know, like I'm not there yet. I just want to like experiment, but like with people closer to my age that are also attractive. That's another thing. I don't want to be mean, but like from what I've seen, a lot of kinkier people are not attractive in my eyes.
Say more.
So I don't really know. It's just like something that I've noticed, and I've talked about this with like other people or other, like, I guess, guys that I've met in the community. Like, it's hard to find people that you're attracted to. Like, I don't think I'm like the most gorgeous thing in the world, but I don't think I am fugly, you know? So like, it's hard to find, like, it's hard to find like people on my level. And that sounds mean, but like, it's true. So just, if you're curious, go on FetLife and fucking look at these people and tell me. Because there's some crazy shit on there.
Well, I'm sure. And I'm sure like you being young, they're like
it's
flooding.
Very predatory too.
Yeah, they're probably flooding your shit like crazy. So it's just like a bunch of 70-year-old dudes with fucking, like, what's going on? Like what they just were, because last time you said, oh, the guy wanted to put you in a fucking closet or a baby carriage or something and feed you once a day. Yes, you did.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, you did.
Not a baby carriage. Not a baby carriage. I didn't know what you're talking about, but yeah. He was into like the
slave shit.
DDLG stuff. Yeah, and slave, like that was another person. And it's just like, it's too hardcore for me. Like I'm not there. Like I'm a baby kinkster.
Yeah.
Like I really don't have, like I was just celibate for 1.5 years. Like I was not having sex with anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And so now I kind of broke it because, I did break it. Because I was kind of like, after 1.5 years, like I was just like, I feel like if I keep waiting, it's going to give me like more pressure in my head to like pick the right person. And that was already stressing me out. Like, I don't want to have, like, I'm like so scared of my body count, and I know it's stupid because I used to not care. And then it got a little high. And then I was like, this is not going to work well for me, because I was literally like told by a guy, like because I slept with him like on the first date, like he couldn't take me seriously, like stupid shit like that. So I'm like, I have PTSD from that. But anyway, so I was like, I don't want to just fuck someone one time. You know, I need to get my money's worth. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so,
I do.
So I just like went back to someone that I used to have sex with back in the day. And
the crypto
so I
guy?
just recycled. No.
Okay, good.
No, but I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
No. I don't think I ever really talked about him.
Well, you did on
the guy that I did.
Show.
No, the guy that I
gotcha.
just recently like broke it with. Because he like there was nothing really to say. But I broke it with him, and then the last guy I had sex with was at a sex club.
Yeah.
So, and that was like that was my last sexual, well, not my last escapade, but my last intercourse.
Sure. Well, and here's the thing. So first of all, I want to recap what you just said with this put a little bow on it. Like,
yeah,
these people who are telling you, oh, you slept with me on the first date, I can't take you seriously. These people that are making YouTube content where you're behind them or whatever on the fucking screen, like they're all literal stupid, and they're not working for your life.
Stupid.
They're literal stupid. So we need to like stop fucking with these hoes. Like, they're fucking dumb.
Well, here's the thing. It's so weird. It's hard to find guys, and I don't know if it's just like where I live or what. Like, I understand the guy that told me like the first date, sleeping on the first date thing. He was probably your age, so I like kind of understand, because like that's sort of the mindset that like there wasn't so much sex positivity when you were a kid and a teenager, right?
My parents are very sex positive, so I was lucky, but like,
But like, you know what I mean, right? Like, I just don't think it was as open. So I think that's like what a lot of
I didn't
people
grow
were
up in the
taught.
fucking
I don't
40s,
know.
Shawn. First of all, I'm
No,
just saying.
I know, but there weren't any there
No,
weren't podcasts being like, hey, let's have
yeah,
open
but
sex talks.
to say to someone, sorry, like you're out because we had sex on the first, to like completely dismiss a person and what a relationship and what other sex and other things would look like just because
Yeah.
they had sex with you one time on the first date is fucking. If he would have said, hey, I would, I don't know, whatever he said is fucking dumb. Like that is so dumb. Like somebody who is.
He also had sex with me.
Right, exactly. But someone who is so unintelligent that they'll allow
Rude.
that one little thing to then shape their whole judgment of a person is not somebody, they're literal stupid. It's not someone you want in your life anyway, right?
There's just like a lot of weight against like a woman's purity and how that coincides with her worth. And like, I used to not think that until like it kept getting like put in me by other people. And so I'm trying to like not think like that, but it's hard not to, because I'm like, I want to get married one day. If I keep being a whore, it's not gonna happen.
That's not true. And like, it is people like this guy, and it is people like Andrew Tate, and it is people like that fucking idiot couple that's making fucking blast videos, whatever, that are perpetuating this like disgusting fucking myth. Like, we are humans. We judge women so insanely crazy on everything. It's always the woman's fault. All of these fucking things.
Mm-hmm.
That if we're gonna move forward, like as a society, whether that's like culturally, politically, whatever, it absolutely starts with us stopping the fucking judgment of women because of who they sleep with and what they wear. Like, how fucking stupid is that?
I think it's because of the Bible. So we should just get rid of religion.
Sure, chuck the Bible in the fucking creek. And yeah, no, I get it. Like, it is because of religion, and all of the other things that are pushing that forward. It's disgusting. We are never going to make any progress until we stop that behavior. And men are the most guilty of it.
It's just so weird. Like, I go from like having this conversation with you about how like, my body count, and then I go to a sex club. You know,
I think it's great.
There's no balance here.
I think it's great. So, and this is the thing is, like, the last time you were here on the show, you told a story about
the pizza
how you
party.
went to a pizza party and there was a man having his genitals electrocuted and he was being whipped and whatever, all the things, right?
Yeah, it's a lot.
Okay, so so I'm thinking there's a crazy story here with the sex club thing. So tell us, tell the audience, tell me, right? How did you hear about it? Why were you called to go? What happened at the sex club?
So I feel like I told you guys that I was banned from Bumble and Tinder. So like, really my only options are Hinge and like Facebook dating and like Field. Yeah, I'm like heavy on the Field right now. I'll tell you about that after.
And for people who don't know, people don't know what Field is, can you give a little explainer?
It used to be called Thrinder, and it was like the threesome app to like, you know, couples connecting with like unicorns or whatever. But now it's turned into like a more like sexually free app. So you can say like you're polysexual or polyamorous or like, you know, you can state that, and then you can also put on there like your interests and like sort of what you're looking for. So like a lot of people put like they're just looking for casual, or they're looking for threesomes, or they're looking to explore BDSM. And it's like a dating app, like how it's set up. So you can like, you know, X people or swipe right or whatever. So it makes it a lot more user friendly than FetLife. But yeah, anyway, so back to the sex club. So it's called Trapeze, and I'm giving them free advertisement, but it's it's supposedly like one of the best swingers clubs in the United States of America. And they have one in Atlanta. Also, if you're listening from Atlanta, I guess you could go there. But I was on Hinge and I matched with this guy, and like one of his prompts was like, the hallmark of a great relationship is, and he put swinging. So I was like, we were talking and I was like, is that real? Like, are you a swinger, or is that just like something you put to be funny? And he was like, and then he opened up to me and told me that he's a member at this club. And, he's sort of like looking for someone to go with him, like more on the regular, because like going as a single isn't really fun, especially as a guy. And so I was like, oh, like that sounds cool. I'd be open to like trying it type of thing. So that's kind of what happened. So the same night that I met him, like we went to dinner and then we went to the club right after. So like I met him and then went to the
Where did you guys go to dinner?
him. And then this Italian restaurant. I'm like, that's not really friendly to sexual encounters.
Pizza and now spaghetti.
It was good. It was good. Anyway, so we went to the club, and it's a very bizarre space, sort of, because it's like a regular kind of looking club in the front, and then when you go towards the back of the space, there's like doors, and that's where all the shit's going down. So, and there's also like chefs and shit, like making a buffet of food, and I'm like, this is not the area for this, but whatever. And then at midnight they start making breakfast for people. I'm like, okay. I mean, I would have tried it. People said it's really good, but I was like, I just had Italian, so I gotta keep it light. But so yeah, so we kind of hung around the like club space for like maybe an hour or two, and I just like people watched and sort of like saw what the vibe was. But it was like again, there's no age,
sure,
like minimum. Well, I guess there's a minimum, but there's no maximum. So there's like, you know, some older people like getting down. Like there's this lady who was dancing, and like she was wearing a really tight short dress, and it was like riding up her ass, so you could see like the bottom of her butt cheeks. And I'm like, where am I? Like, this is just like so odd. But everything like was making me laugh. Like I wasn't uncomfortable. I just thought it was funny. Like I was laughing at people. And then, yeah, so we were drinking and like kind of watching like what was going on before I went back. The back part, I was a little scared to go. And so before we went back, I was like, I'm going to use the bathroom. And I met like this couple in line for the bathroom. She was like, you're so pretty, blah, blah, blah. And we were talking, and she was asking me where I got my shoes from, whatever. And then that was it. And then I went to the back with him. And before you are allowed to go in, you have to disrobe, obviously. And you get a locker and a towel. And before we went, like he was telling me, that there's locker rooms. And I'm like, I don't know why I assumed that there would be separate men's and women's locker rooms, but there was not. So I was a little surprised by that for some reason. And I got in, and then everyone's just like naked, getting undressed or redressed. And I'm like, I don't want to get like undressed in front of all these people. It's weird. But everybody was doing it. And like there was an older man who was getting dressed to leave. Like he was already done. Like he did his shit. I'm like, before 11 p.m.
He's headed to the buffet. Yeah.
No, literally. And so he could tell that I was nervous, and he was like, oh, we've all been there. Like he was really nice. He was like, we've all been there. Like you're going to have fun. Just like, you'll be fine. Like whatever. And I was like, okay. So then I started getting undressed, and then I had my little towel. He had his little towel, and we started like walking around, and like this dude was like fucking ready to like join an orgy with me. And I'm like, bro, shouldn't me and you just like have sex together first? Like, wouldn't that, like, I just feel like that's what should happen.
You said
like,
that?
Yeah, like, I just think that's a little odd. Don't you think? Like, I've never had sex with him before.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, it sounds like you want more of these beginner things, right? And all of these other like people, whether it's in your fucking DMs on Chat Life. What's Chat Life? Is that like a new website? Fat Life, right? Or Chat Life is the app where it's just Chet Hanks. Like that's all. The only person on there is Chet Hanks.
I don't even know who that is. But okay.
It's fine. We're moving on. Anyway, you want these beginner experiences, and they're impossible to find because everyone's so fucking horny and like trying to put a plastic bag over your head and like whatever, right? Yeah. So okay, so you say that to the gentleman. Don't you think we should just go in the corner, bang it out? What happens next?
He said, oh yeah, like, of course. And I was like, okay. So I'm like trying to like find a little privacy, and there's no such thing in this area, like in this building at all. And so I'm like, okay, I thought there's like these little rooms, and I'm like, okay, perfect. Like, I guess this is where people go if they want privacy. No, I go in the room and there's a whole fucking window that you can see into the room that's like across. And so I'm like, can they see us? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, all right, I guess this is just what it's going to have to be. And then of course it's a fucking gangbang in the room across that I'm like, this is like a lot for me to see. Like, I've never seen this in real life before.
What kind of gangbang? Like a bunch of dudes on one chick?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And I'm like, this is like a lot, like a lot. It's just a lot. Like, I'm getting frazzled talking about it because it was just like overstimulation. And so
wait, hold on. Let's paint a clearer picture. Okay. Like we did last time. How many guys? Like 5, 10, 15, 20?
I would say like 7. I think it was like 7.
So in the room across, it's 7 dudes, one woman. What is the woman doing? Is she on her knees? Is her?
She's, I don't know. All I can see is the back of her. So there's like, the beds aren't really like beds. They're just kind of like elevated mats. So she's sitting on one of them.
Okay.
And that's all I can see, really. Like, I can see all the guys standing and she's sitting. So I'm sure they're probably going to like fucking take turns with her. I don't know. I just sort of was like, all right, this is what we're going to have to do. I'm just going to have to lay here on this disgusting mat and figure it out. Everyone else is doing it, so I'll just do it. And so, yeah, I had sex with him in the little room. And then I was like, okay, now what? And then we just put the towels back on and we started like walking around. Then I ran into my friends from the bathroom, the couple. They're a little bit older. Like, I think the woman was like 50. So I probably like the guy was a little bit older than her. And so I introduced my guy that I went with to the couple. And I was like, oh, this is the guy that I came with. This is blah, blah, blah. And, yeah, they were super nice. They were talking to us. And then the wife was like, he won't let me have sex with him until I go over to the singles side and find someone to give head to. So how it's set up is you walk in and there's like kind of like a barrier. And then to the right is like couples and to the left is single men. So the single men can only can't cross over to the couple side. Like, they have to be with a couple. Like, they have to be chosen, basically. Okay. So it's not like, you know, creepers with their like wieners out. Like,
fucking Red Rover going on here.
But like, literally, it's like everyone's naked with their wieners out, just like waiting for somebody to come pick them. Like, it's weird, but whatever. So I was like, oh, like, that's what you have to do. Cool. Like, I was just like, okay. Like, and then the husband was like, you go with her. You should go with her and like make sure she does it, type of thing. And I was like, okay. And I already got along well with this woman. So like, it was fun. Like, I went with her. We made friends with like a couple of the single guys. And then my guy and her husband came over and were like, I don't see you sucking dick. Not to me, to her. And so he was like, you need to pick somebody, type of thing. And then so she did and started like sucking his dick. And I'm like, this is so bizarre. Like, he's like rubbing his wife's back while she's sucking someone else's dick. And then I'm like looking at him and I'm like, do you not get jealous? Like, is that not a thing for you? He's like, no, not really. Like, we just are super secure and this is just like something fun for us to do. Like, it doesn't bother me. Then he goes, I'm going to tap her out now. And like, it's a game. And so, yeah. So they did that. And then we kind of all like found like a spot together, the four of us. And then she started like having sex with the guy that I came with. Mm-hmm. And then I was like getting fingered and shit by her husband. And I'm like, this is just so odd. Like, I've never been in a situation like this before. And I've never, like, people also like just watch. Like, there's a lot of people who are into watching. And like, I looked up and I'm like, oh shit. Like, there was like a little crowd for us. And I'm like, this is like a lot for me. A lot of people get turned on by that. Nothing happened for me. I was just like, okay, that's weird. Maybe like the next time I go, I'll like it. I don't know. But it didn't do anything for me at that point. And then, yeah, like we just kind of like stuck together the whole night. They left before us, but they asked for both of our numbers so they could see us again. And yeah, so that was my night at the sex club.
Well, maybe the four of you will go out for Italian now.
Maybe. I don't know.
Okay, so a couple questions, right? Mm-hmm. One, the initial sex with the guy you went with, what was that like? How did that feel?
It was fine. It like wasn't obviously intimate because there was like a million people. And like a gangbang happening next to us. So like it was, I mean, I was like comfortable, with him, but it was like not, if I got to choose, like, would that be my first time again with somebody new? Probably not. Like, I would have probably preferred to like have sex a few times with him before and like hung out before more with him and then gone like on our third date.
Sure.
Like the couple like was like, you guys just met each other tonight. And I was like, yeah. And she was like, you're so comfortable here. Like, I was so nervous my first time, whatever. And I'm like, oh no, I'm nervous. I'm like, you just can't show it. Like they can smell your fear here.
Oh my God. And well, okay. And so did you have an orgasm? Did he have an orgasm? How long did it last? Was it quick? Was it, because it seems like it was just like a little breaking of the seal kind of sex.
Yeah. It was not it was not anything crazy.
Okay.
I didn't, and he stopped like before he finished because I think he wanted to like do other things and like whatever, which was fine. But yeah, I mean, it was just kind of like, like you said, like the breaking of the seal. I just thought it was weird, like to, I don't know, like be with him at a sex club, but we've never had sex before.
Yeah.
So I thought it would make me more comfortable.
Sure.
But I don't know. I don't know if that really did the trick or not, to be honest.
Okay. And so then did you have full on sex with the couple, or was it just the fingering and the...
So he did. My guy had sex with the wife.
Right.
And then, like, okay, I wasn't really that attracted to the husband. I was, like, more attracted to his, like, personality and how well I got along with the wife. And, like, I was almost, like, attracted to her, too, and I don't know. And I don't like girls, so I was like, wait, I'm confused. I didn't know if it was because like this was such like a new environment type of thing. And she was like, it's just like nice to be in an environment like that. And you have a girl there with you who's like, you're safe type of thing. Like you're going to be like, this is okay. Mm-hmm. And so I don't know if it was like that dynamic. I mean, she was like beautiful. Like she had like fake boobs and like fake lips and like super white teeth and blonde hair and blue eyes. Like she was like a blonde shell, like bombshell MILF. Like that's just what she was. And so like I know that she's pretty, and like I liked her personality, and she was super like, you know, making sure I was okay and like, are you good? And asking me questions just like about me, and that type of thing. So I don't know. I don't know if I like actually had a crush on her, or like if it was more like the situation, you know,
Sure.
because I've never felt that way before. So I don't know.
Yeah.
But
That's very interesting.
I did not have sex with her husband. I gave him head and he fingered me. And then I was like, I was going to have sex with him. And then he couldn't get hard because he got nervous because there was people watching us. And then I was like, not mad about it. I was just like, okay, whatever. Like I was down if it was going to happen because it was like the experience. But I wasn't mad that it didn't either, you know?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, and this is the thing is like you talked about how you're nervous and you did it and you didn't you weren't sure about it and all of these things, this uncertainty that you feel around sex and around relationships, whatever. But then here you are like being a fucking G, going and taking all your clothes off and walking around in a towel, you know, at the fucking gangbang sex swinger party, right? So like, let's give yourself some fucking credit, right?
No, yeah, I think it's definitely an experience. I mean, I don't think everybody would enjoy that, and I don't think that I would be a regular there. But I think it was a cool experience that I did. But I mean, like most people are super like consent based, and like everyone's wearing condoms, that type of thing. So I wasn't really nervous about that. It was just like, it was a lot of firsts at once. So it was like a lot for me to like digest, but I sort of just like stuck with the people that I was like, those little, like my guy in the couple. I didn't really venture from them because I was like a little timid.
Yeah, but you got it done. You had a great time. Shawn Jacobson, let's remind them where they can find you, hang out with you online, and also like what's coming up in 23. You know, you can say whatever you like.
Yeah, so that's a good question. I don't even know what my shit is anymore. So let me look. So my personal Instagram, which like I'm more active on now than my podcast Instagram because I don't really know what I'm doing with my life. But my personal Instagram is It's Your Girl Shawn. And then my podcast Instagram, if you're curious, is in my bio, but it's at the Tough Titties podcast. And TikTok is at Shawn what is it? Underscore Jacobson. And then I don't know what you can expect from me, to be honest. Hopefully,
more amazing shit, more amazing stories.
Yeah, who knows? I'm trying to plan my own sex party actually, with a friend. So hopefully that will go down in the next few months, and then I'll be able to report back on that. Yes. Literal, so good.
Yeah.
And
so that's perfect. So let's, after the sex party, let's plan it, right? You come back, recap the whole thing for another episode.
I'll tell you guys about the sex party on Sex Party.
Perfect. Shawn Jacobson, thank you so much for being my guest again on Sex Party.
Dustin.
We love you. We'll see you soon. Appreciate it. Yeah, this was awesome. You're awesome.
I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.
I told you guys it was good. Thank you to Shawn Jacobson for being my guest this week on the show, for returning to Sex Party. If you guys are loving guests like Shawn, if you are, still okay with what I'm doing here, if you want to show some appreciation for Sex Party, there's a couple different ways you can do that. If you're listening on platforms like Apple and Spotify, you can subscribe to the show. That's the most important. You never want to miss an episode, especially with what's coming. You could also leave a rating. You could leave a review. You could tell your friends. Again, you don't have to do any of this bullshit. I appreciate it if you do. If you're watching on YouTube, if If you're watching on YouTube, I love you. You can subscribe to the channel. You can like the video. You can leave a comment. As always, you can reach out to me in the DMs on Instagram. And buckle up because we are headed towards the end of season 1. There are some big surprises. There's some big episodes. There's a big finale coming. I love you guys. And I'll see you right back here next week.
Thanks for listening. The party continues next week. Click subscribe and let's make this a regular thing. Follow the show on Instagram and Twitter @SexPartyFM. Follow Dustin @DustinRybka.